So we're back to review another season of Alex Rider. This time we're reviewing Season 2. Now, before we get into Season 2, I do want to just quickly revisit my thoughts on Season 1. I didn't rewatch Season 1 before watching Season 2, but I don't think I really needed to because the show did a good job at recapping what happened in Season 1. But ultimately, I like Season 1, it's just that my main problems with Season 1 was that they didn't really do a great job at adapting the Alex Rider origin story because it just felt weird. It felt unbelievable. Specifically, the fact that he didn't really get any form of SAS training. Like, all his training in the show consisted of was having Wolf, interrogating him, torturing him, with water and all that stuff. And then he just escapes. Like, that's not training. Like, he doesn't know how to fire a weapon. He doesn't know how to do all this, spy stuff. He just is tortured for an episode. I also wasn't a fan of them visually showing us Ian Ryder's death because the way they did it just wasn't very cool. It was just, him and his partner are talking to Yasin Gogorovic in a parking lot and then he gets shot. Like, when you do compare it to that god-awful Stormbreaker movie, the way Ewan McGregor's Ian Ryder goes out is pretty awesome. He's driving down a motorway in a high-speeding BMW or whatever, and then Yasin Gogorovic is dangling down from the helicopter and shoots him with a two-gun. That's really cool. And the show is just It's lame. I also do think that Season 1 was a bit slow-paced in the middle of the season. When Alex is in Point Blanc, it's kind of just we're dragging this out. Let's cut to the chase. And I also think they just didn't give Otto Farrant Alex Rider enough cool things to do. The most exciting thing he got to do in Season 1 was the snowboarding sequence. But other than that, it was kind of lame. All he did was just, fight people, but that was it. Again, it just didn't add to the fact that he didn't get any SAS training, so it just kind of made him feel a bit, I don't know, they just felt like there was a bit of a disconnect with his version of Alex Rider. In the books, Alex Rider was taught by Ian Ryder to do all these cool things like karate and snowboarding and skiing and all that kind of stuff, surfing. But in the show, he didn't seem like he knew, how to do a lot of things. So, getting into Alex Rider Season 2, Season 2 adapts the 4th book, Eagle Strike, and I'm not gonna lie, I do not remember at all what happened in Eagle Strike. I think the most I remember was the scene in the book where Charlie Roper is, trapped in that big tube, and he goes to Damien Cray, give me all the money that you said you were gonna pay me, and Damien Cray was like, yeah, I will, and he, floods the tube full of coins. I think that's the most I remember about Eagle Strike. And so, I'm not gonna lie, I had to go onto the Alex Rider wiki and read the plot synopsis for Eagle Strike because, yeah, I did not remember this book at all. And going off the plot synopsis, yeah, I think Season 2 does a pretty good job at adapting Eagle Strike. And logically, I think it is smart to adapt Eagle Strike right after Point Blanc, considering Skeleton Key is just another Alex Rider mission. But the beginning of Eagle Strike has MI6 ghosting Alex, which honestly I think is just a more logical choice. Yeah, they got the kid to do the job and now they don't need him anymore. That makes sense to me. Though I will say, I do think that it's nice that they kept the opening of Skeleton Key where Alex goes to Cornwall with Sabina, but they changed it and modified it to make it fit within the Eagle Strike storyline, so yeah, that's a cool detail. I do think that Season 2 suffers from a similar problem to Season 1, where it does drag in the middle of the season, which, I mean, is to be expected, seeing as how they're getting a 300-page book and stretching it out over 8 episodes, which are all 45 minutes long. I mean, at the end of the day, the Alex Rider series does seem to fit a film format more, but then also, you do want to see Alex Rider grow up throughout the years, and you get a quicker turnaround time by making it a TV show, so it makes more sense that it's a TV show, but again, I think 8 episodes is a bit too much for Alex Rider. But that being said though, I think Season 2 is a really good adaptation of Eagle Strike, and I really did enjoy it overall. I mean, this is no cinematic masterpiece. Alex Rider is not going to win an Emmy or anything like that, but I think it's a nice, enjoyable spy thriller for most ages to enjoy. The cast is still really solid, and I won't lie, I'm really happy that Season 2 really makes Otto Farrant's Alex Rider a lot more cooler. In many ways, he is pretty much book Alex Rider, and I was happy for that. I was like, yes, finally, he's doing cool things. He's surfing, he's saving Sabina's father from a fire, he's jumping on trucks and dangling off trucks. They even made him do parkour to grab sheets of paper. That's just so dumb, but also, so great. The big takeaway I got from Alex Rider Season 2 was that, yes, they tried to make Alex Rider a much cooler character to watch. And for that, I'm thankful. More or less, Otto Farrant's Alex Rider is on the same level as Alex Pettifier's from the movie, though he still hasn't ridden a quad bike, so I think that's next for Otto Farrant's Alex Rider to do in Season 3. You've also got Brennick O'Connor as Tom once again. Most of you will know him as Ollie from Game of Thrones, and yeah, I liked him a lot more in this season. In Season 1, it did seem like, yeah, they just tried to make him geeky, he was a film nerd and a comic book nerd, to kind of make him relatable, but to me, that was a bit forced in Season 1. But in Season 2, they scaled it all back and they just made him Alex's friend, and yeah, he was good in this season, I liked him. You've of course got Stephen Delane as Alan Blunt again, Stannis the Manus, another Game of Thrones tie-in. He's also really great, though I do think he's a bit underplayed. But then again, he does play the character pretty much perfectly from the book, so, I mean, I can't really complain. Like, yes, there's not a lot of Alan Blunt, but also there isn't a lot of Alan Blunt in the books either. I like the actress who plays Mrs. Jones, I like the actor who plays Crawley, I like the actor who plays Smithers. Like, yeah, the cast is all really solid. Specifically, Toby Stephens as Damian Cray. Like, I really liked Damian Cray as the villain this season. In many ways, his performance gave me Richard E. Grant vibes, which I thought was really cool. Though, there are times where he does seem to overact a bit, like he overacts the malice, and it's like, I don't know, he's a bit too over-the-top evil at times, but other than that, I did like Damian Cray in this season. And honestly, I think the weakest character in the cast this season was Sabina. The actor who played her just seemed a bit too inexperienced for me. Like, there were times where either she was a bit too wooden, or she overacted, or she underacted, and the scene she shared between her and Otto Farrant, she stood out because Otto Farrant was giving a good, charismatic, you know, well-thought-out performance, and she just seemed to overact at times and just... yeah, she was the weakest part of the cast for me. The action in the season was also pretty good. Again, I'm glad that they gave Otto Farrant the chance to play a cooler Alex Rider, doing cooler things. Though, I will say, I have a couple of nitpicks. One, the drone chase was a bit long-winded and a bit silly. Like, there is no way that, like, Alex and Kyra would have not been shot. Like, that drone was firing machine gun rounds, and they were just dodging it like nothing. Also, Damian Cray needs to fire the person that did the motion controls for that drone because, oh my god, they were so wonky. Like, why was it so hard for him to maneuver it? Like, that is just bad design work. And I also think the scene where Alex is being K7 and he's like testing out the real version of the game, I thought that was a bit silly. Like, Damian Cray is obviously torturing him, and everyone's all like, oh, that's a bit bad, man. But like, he's like torturing him and no one's trying to stop him. No one's like shouting and being like, stop, you're hurting him. They're all just like, oh man, what's he doing? That's mad. But other than that, I think season 2 was a pretty good improvement over season 1. Like, they even fixed the intro. Like, there's more silhouette shots in the intro. The triangle wipes make more sense. There's also like that little gun barrel they've added to it now with the snakeskin texture. And again, I think that's a cool reference to like Snakehead, I'm assuming. I got the whole world ahead and the whole world behind. Nothing in the rear of you but waits to die. But yeah, the changes they made to the intro were really great, and it almost seemed like the writers had watched my video on Alex Rider season 1 and they decided to go, yeah, we'll do that, we'll put that in season 2. And honestly, I can't wait for season 3. Like, I'm excited. Like, it seems like they're going to be adapting Scorpia, and I think they are going to be adapting Scorpia. And like, Scorpia is a cool story. Like, Alex like goes against MI6 and he like joins Scorpia. It's really cool, especially since at the end it has a very impactful ending to Alex Rider. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Alex Rider Season 2. I really enjoyed it. But what did you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Like, subscribe, follow me on social media, all that good stuff. It's down in the description. Until we meet again, see you guys next time.